Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the CQ the Watch Guy podcast with me, your good friend CQ the Watch Guy. Hope you're having an amazing day. I know I am. Just flew in from an amazing wedding, in Pennsylvania. Shout out to Armin and Alicia. Such a beautiful wedding full of love. And of course, a lot of great watch spotting there. A lot of watch guys and watch girls in the room. So it's interesting to see a bunch of great watches and a unique selection, right? There was some Jordan, there's some Breitling, some Omega. There was a lot of Tudor fanfare in the room as well. And it made me think, what are some great watches to wear on a wedding? What do you look for in watches? As a groom, not so much the person who's going to show up, because you could wear anything to show up to a wedding, but as a groom, what do you look for in that watch for such a special moment in your life, right? Something that you want to really carry beautiful memories, for the whole lifespan of you owning the watch. So I wanted to roll back a little bit and think about that and present to you guys a little cool lineup. But before we get into that, I want to think, what are you looking for in your wedding watch, right? Or your special occasion watch? Just broaden up the title a little bit more. So for me, in a watch for such a special day, you want something that's going to be timeless, that's going to be classic, something that you won't see yourself selling unless you really, really want to, something that you can see yourself going back to 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 years and still enjoying wearing it. Maybe you don't wear it every day, right? Maybe it's not your everyday beater. Maybe it is. But maybe, I think it should just be something that when you look at it, not only are those great memories pouring back into you, but also you just enjoy the watch for whatever reason. So I think it should have some unique element, whether it's a special color that you guys enjoy together, or just a unique complication maybe you wouldn't ever try out, but for this situation, it's really perfect. I also think you should really consider engraving. Look for solid case back pieces. A lot people are a little bit polarized, and do you engrave or not to engrave? And I think there are a few different ways to engrave depending on the watch that you're looking to engrave. If it's something like a Rolex Sports Small, Rolex dress watch, for a steel case back, you're probably looking between 500 and 750 to replace that, right? So let's say you did engrave it and something happened down the road where you wanted to move that watch out of collection. To get that watch back to the full original spec isn't that expensive, is not that crazy. Dealer's gonna knock you $500 or something like that. Also, if you just do like a light laser engraving, that might be able to be polished out. Now you got to be careful with that, because there's certain watches. Again, most of the Rolex series, Rolex model lineup, you're okay, because with those case backs, they're meant to be changed out. Older watches, you got to be careful. Certain watches like reversers and stuff, if you engrave that, I don't think there's no replacing that case back, because it's in the case back, right? It's an entire case. So you want to be careful engraving, but I do think it can be an amazing time to put great messaging or even great artistry on your watch. Even go beyond case back. You can engrave the whole watches. So I have a client who's doing a beautiful engraving on a Rolex OP, and just all hand engraved, very nautical theme with things, representing his family and different themes in his life. And it's just a great memento piece. He will never sell it, probably won't be able to sell it if he wanted to, but who cares, right? Because it's a beautiful watch. It's something that's meant to be a very unique, cool heirloom piece, as he, instills the watch bug, the watch nerdiness into his family. So I have lined up a pretty good list of some new pieces that came in that I think would work great for a wedding watch, right? Or a very, very, very special occasion watch. And what I looked for is timeless pieces, pieces I could see myself going back to anytime, little unique flares to them to give me something special, not just my normal date, just I can go and buy every day. It's a special occasion, make it special, right? Again, if you want to make it a normal date, just or I don't want to say date, just for any normal classic watch that you're gonna see yourself wearing every day, great. But I think this is just a great opportunity to like go outside the box, because you have such a great reason, because it's a very, very special day. So let's start the lineup with the Omega DeVille Prestige Power Reserve in 41 millimeter. I chose this one because the Omega DeVille lineup is not a collection that, gets a lot of fanfare. I feel you don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but within the DeVille lineup, there is a lot of great pieces that have, been produced and are still being produced that give you cool, funky complications, great movements, because Omega has invested so heavily in making pretty much everything in-house 8500 9500 series, which means silicone escapement. Everything's going to be coaxial escapement. This one's coaxial master chronometer, so you know you're not going to have to worry about servicing it that much. Anti-magnetism traits in there as well. Omega, under the hood Omega, people really, you can't talk smack about them. You really can't talk smack about the brand at all, in my opinion, because they do so many great things in such a wide variety of models, right? In my opinion, they make too many models, but hey, I can have my opinion. But even with that opinion, everything that was under the hood in all those models are really, really great, and this is no exception. This DeVille Prestige Power Reserve, clean blue dial, you have some Roman numerals there, clean classic watch, right? I probably wouldn't even change the strap on this. Maybe you could put it on like a brown suede and just kind of brighten it up a little bit and play around with that blue. I just love this unique power reserve at 6 o'clock. And then you have the seconds sub dial, which is kind of a target dial there at 9 o'clock. And I think it's just a really great layout to the watch. Beautiful, clean, classy. You flip it over, you get a great movement. And this is a great watch you could wear for such a great special occasion, but always come back to it. You always need a nice dress piece. You always need something a little bit unique. This is something I could see living in your collection for a very, very long time. And price point is good. We have it for $5,075 on the market right now. Next up is a fun sporty watch, because I said I don't want to go all dressy, right? Some people will want something a little more adventurous, a little bit more fun and out there and sporty for their wedding piece or their special occasion piece. So I chose the Tudor Black Bay Pro GMT on a bracelet. I love this watch. When it was first released, I thought it was just a perfect, tribute to the early Rolex GMTs. The yellow orange hand just kind of, I don't know, it just does, excuse me, the yellow GMT hand has just a really great contrast with the black dial, and just, it's very heritage, very vintage inspired, and you get all that feeling. I chose this one. It's a cool timeless piece. If you're somebody who likes to travel a lot or travel a lot for business, a GMT is always needed in a collection. So it's a great way to have a very special piece that's gonna travel around the world with you. Sol case back, so you can put that engraving on there. Great price point. $39.75 right now for a full set. Just a great piece. It's a tank. You could take it anywhere. You could do anything. So if you're looking for that, you're not a big watch guy. You don't have a 10, 15 piece collection. You don't have a 5-piece collection. You have 1 or 2 watches, but you want something for a special day that is going to be with you and do anything with you that you want to do. I think the Black Bay Pro GMT is a great selection. It looks good and it'll do anything you want it to. So I think, you really can't go wrong there. So now I wanted to step it up. On the Rolex side, we have the Milgauss Z Blue. I was playing one of these 2 days ago, just in the sun and taking some photos. I fall in love with this watch every time I pick it up, to be honest with you. The blue with the green crystal, with the orange hand, just gives you a great combination of colors, a great contrast. I think the Milgauss is one of those models in any dial color, right? Any dial configuration. The Milgauss is one of those models that are so under the radar, because a lot of people, don't even know the Milgauss is out there, right? It sounds funny to say, but in a group of people who've just, they don't know that deep of watches, they may not seen a Milgauss before. So you can pop up with a white dial, clear crystal Milgauss, and that'll be such a really interesting, unique piece. Won't break the bank, and still be something very special in a group of watch collectors. So what I love about the Z Blue is you get all the great fun of the Milgauss being kind of an under the radar piece, but you get a beautiful splash of blue on there with that dial, and it just really gives you a nice pop of color with still a nice understated watch, because again, smooth bezel, not fluted. You don't have a date on there. So when the dial catches you, you see it, it gives you that fun, but it doesn't really overpower or scream across the room, like I always say. Again, Sol case back, so you can do great engraving on this for your special day. And another watch you can do anything with this watch. Even do some electromagnetic work. But it's great if you're somebody doing business casual wear, a piece you could wear all the time, or something that you go back to special occasions, but it's fun, it's unique, and it'll always make you smile, on top of the fact that you had it on during your special day. So the Z Blue is a great suggestion, and if you've never had a Milgauss on the wrist, just put it on. I think it's a really good one to check out. Now, getting back in the dressy side, we have the A. Lange & Söhne Saxonia Thin Copper Blue. These are stunners with a beautiful blue Argentine dial. It is, again, it's just gorgeous. The specks of gold, the specks of glitter on that dial. It just is like looking into midnight sky. You know, if you're in Alaska or someplace with very low light pollution, you can just see the beautiful sky. It's like having that on the wrist. So I chose this because I actually had a very good client and collector friend of mine who bought one of these as a his and her special occasion watch, right? Where he has a more masculine shot for him and a more feminine shot for her, and they kind of swap this watch back and forth. And I think this is a great idea for that watch. I would definitely wear this on my wedding day, but have two straps, and this be kind of the watch that we both share in the collection. Maybe your significant other isn't super into watches, but this can be a great watch where anybody who looks at this watch is going to say, well, this is just a gorgeous, beautiful looking piece of art that I can wear, right? So I think this is a great shareable piece. This is a great, wear it on the day piece just for yourself as well. Beautiful dial, 18 karat white gold. Not really much more needed to say. It's a long, so great movement, is gonna be beautiful, as beautiful on the back as it is on the front. But yeah, I just have some fun with a few different shops on this piece. But I've handled a few of these, and every one is a stunner. I mean, if you just, again, the midnight sky on a watch, you really, really can't beat it. Now let's go to another Long and Sonne, but this one is a more buttoned up. This is a Long and Sonne Richard Lange. 232.032, and I wanted to put this out because it's just clean, classic Lange. Sometimes you want something dressy, sometimes you want something that's for the occasion, right? And the Richard Lange is definitely a watch that's for the occasion. Not bunch of bells and whistles here. Just a great in-house movement, great timeless piece. Richard Lange did so much for the brand, so they made this collection, named this collection after him, and there's a bunch of different models in that. But this particular one is just clean. You got the white dial, Roman numerals, 18 karat rose gold hands, your blued seal second hand, and it's just smooth, clean, classic button up, and it's ready to hit the road. It's ready to do some business. A great, great watch if you are looking for something for a special occasion, or if you've been thinking about getting something a little bit more on the dressy side. Here on this strap, it is very dressy, but if you put it on a suede strap or a nubuck or something like that, you can bring out a little bit more casual side. But definitely a great watch at a great price point from Long and Sonne to try out. I think it will go perfect on a special occasion day. And last but not least, on the top end, I wanted to put the Patek Philippe Aquanaut 5167 time only. I'm a big fan of the Aquanaut. I've said it many times, but I think once the Aquanaut is sized right to the wrist, I've never seen it on a wrist that doesn't look good. And I think this is a great wedding watch or special occasion watch because it's clean, it's timeless, it's classic, it's sporty, it's everything in one. There's so much heritage of the brand. It means a lot. And you could wear it in any situation ever. This is one watch where, again, if you want to have one watch collection, the Aquanaut fits really, really well in there. They're great on a special day, great on a honeymoon, great on the jet ski, great in the boardroom. It has so much oomph for a watch. It's just a time-only watch, but it does pack a lot of punch, just the essence and the feel of the piece. And, it just looks great. And honestly, once it's sized, you put it on, it's sized right, you're like, okay, this fits like a glove. And, it's a beautiful piece. So I suggest that. And I think you do it in steel, or you could do it in rose gold as well. I chose the steel version, but steel, rose gold, both would be amazing for your special day and pieces that can live in your collection, forever and go on down to the kids and the grandkids and so on and so forth. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and talking about some watches and some wedding watches and special occasion watches. I want you to comment down below. Tell me what watch did you wear on your wedding or your special occasion. Love to know. A lot of watch guys have a lot of cool, interesting stories there. And thank you so much again for tuning in. You can check out these and many more pieces at DavidSW.com. Have a great day and buy what you love.